If you want to influence people in your organization, here's a secret. You can't just influence the senior leaders like that. You can't influence them because they're going to be stuck in their ways. But what you can do is you can embody the ideal leader you admire. You can embody that ideal leader. And there are 5 core principles of the ideal leader that I admire, and this is how I lead my team. So hopefully this is helpful to you if you're a people manager. Number 1 is I'm transparent with my team. I'm transparent about my desires, my goals, my fears, both professionally and personally. And what that means is that I'm building familiarity with my team. They're like, oh, I can relate to you in many different ways, or I understand what you're trying to accomplish. That's the first thing that I do. And I do this up front, and I do this every quarter, making sure that my team is aligned on where we're trying to go. The second thing that I do is I show genuine interest in my team. And so what do I do? 2 things. Number 1 is the moment they join my team, I have a one-on-one with them where I ask them, what are your goals in the next 12 months in this role? What are your goals in the next 5 years, personally and professionally? They may not have all the answers, but I want to get a quick sense of what are they looking for? Why do they even join my team? What sparked their interest? And then what do I do? The second thing is I have periodic, monthly one-on-ones just focused on their professional development, where I am ensuring that I'm aligned with where they want to go in their career. And if they feel like what I'm doing, what I am giving them is deviating from where they want to go, then we recalibrate. This comes to the third thing, and this is my commitment to my team's growth. How do you commit to growth? Well, you can do this in a variety of ways. 1 is within the scope of the role, and 2 is outside of the scope of the role. So within the scope of the role, what I like to do is I genuinely try to assign projects that allow my team to flex the skill sets they care to develop. So for example, if one of my teammates wants to be more strategic and work with technology partners and building alliances, let's have this person run relationships, take full ownership of relationships across these technology partners. If another teammate wants to build more analytical skills, then I will ensure that they get modeling experience tied to key projects. But what I'm doing is I'm ensuring that they are working on the things they want to, and I'm very clear with why I'm assigning this to them. Now what happens? They see that I'm invested in their growth, and they're going to want to put in good work. This leads to the 4th thing, which I alluded to, which is encourage full ownership. Encourage full ownership of your projects. Meaning, you as a leader need to be comfortable with 70% of the quality. What do I mean by this? If you do it, you might assume, well, I can get this thing to 100%. But what you need to do is you need to empower them by being comfortable with 70%. It's okay if they're not perfect, because perfection is the enemy of progress. So when you empower them, all of a sudden you show that you trust them. Then they're going to put more effort into what they do if they care to be excellent on your team. And then this leads to the 5th and final thing, which is you need to hold them accountable. So when you give ownership, it doesn't just mean that they have no responsibility with that. Of course they do. But there are 4 things that I like to do to ensure that they're held accountable. Number 1 is I'm very clear with them about what it is that I need of them, the exact requirements of the project that I've assigned. The second thing that I do is I make it very clear to them, not just the requirements, but the why. Why is this project so important as it pertains to our team's charter, our team's objective? So they understand that. Number 3 is I set a deadline for them so they understand where they need to go by when. And number 4 is I ensure that I'm giving them feedback periodically and asking them to provide me with deliverables before that end deadline. So if it's like a first draft, a second draft, we will mark those deadlines before the major one, and I will ensure that I'm giving them feedback asynchronously, live, and ensuring that they understand it. So when I do these 5 things in tandem, all of a sudden I'm able to build that trust with my team to be able to lead them effectively. And you can do this even if you don't necessarily have a team that you lead directly. You can lead through without necessarily authority. If you don't have a team, you can do these exact same things where you're delegating work because you show that you're interested in their growth here. Or you also can hold them accountable to things and ask them to hold you accountable in a similar way. Just remember that if you don't have direct influence, you can reciprocate and you can go quite far. So I hope this helps if you're a people manager or if you're just looking to build influence within your organization. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care.